Okay, we're going to continue talking about working with calculated fields. And in this example, we're going to do another very basic example where we're basically going to concatenate together some different values we might find on a form. So in this scenario, what we're going to be looking at is a scenario where we have a customer and they want to create sort of a unique customer number, so to speak. And it's going to be a combination of the first 5 characters of the company name and the last 4 characters of their account number. So what we're going to do here, you can see we're on the account form. So we're going to do some basic form customization to start off with. So the first thing I need to do is I need to make sure that all the fields are on the form that I actually want to work with. Give this a moment to load. Okay, so the first thing I want to make sure I do is I want to take the account number field and I'm going to move it over here and put it right above my phone number. Okay. Now I need to create another field. So this next field is going to be sort of what we call the customer number. Okay, so I click on New Field. I'm going to call this one Customer Number, and I'm going to leave it as a string field. Now, if I want to make this a calculated field, I need to make sure I choose field type. Now, if I select a different data type here, so if I would have happened to have chosen add date time, you'll see that I have other options. So, we have simple, calculated, and rollup. Now, we haven't talked about rollup as of yet. However, it's really important to note that my ability to do a rollup is really dependent upon the data type. All right. So, but for our example, we're going to stick with a single line of text. And we're going to make this a calculated field. Okay. So we're going to click Edit, and of course that's going to create the field behind the scenes for me. Now I could have clicked on Save first, but just clicking on Edit accomplishes the exact same thing, and it sort of saves me a click. Okay. Now, in this window, what we're going to do is we're going to set the parameters, or set the logic up for us to populate this customer number field. Well, one of the first things I need to make sure I do is I have to have an account number, because it doesn't make sense that I can even calculate my customer number without the account number. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to make sure that the current entity I'm on, which is the account, okay, and we're going to make sure that the account number contains data. There we go. And we're going to approve that. So I'll click on the little green check mark here. There we are. Now, it's important to note I could have added another condition here and added some and or logic. We'll actually talk about that on another video, but for the time being, we're going to keep our condition logic very, very basic. All right, so now that we've identified this logic, we have to identify an action. So I click Add Action. And the action we're going to do is we're going to concatenate together various values. Now, concatenate means we're going to take different values, we're basically going to slam them together to make one long value. So I'll type in CON, and you'll see here that this is sort of IntelliSense feature will kind of crop up, and it'll show us everything that might kind of meet that criteria. So here we see concat, and that's the syntax we use to concatenate together values. So I'll select that. Now I want to determine, well, what values do I want to put together? Well, in this example, I'm going to actually combine multiple functions in here. So I want to grab the first 5 characters of the account name and the last, we'll say the last 5 characters of the account number. So we're going to take portions of those. Now, one of the things we can do with string characters, we can trim off things from the left and the right. So we'll do a left trim. There we go. And we need to identify, got a little too many characters here. Let's get rid of a few of those. There we go. So we'll do a trim left. And we need to identify what it is we want to trim. Now, the first thing we need to identify is what is the actual field. And then we'll put a comma and pick the number of characters. So what we're going to do here is we are going to trim the, let's say we'll trim the first 5 characters from the left. So we'll grab the account number. Oops, we'll do the account name. That's probably what I really want. Do a name. There we go. And I think in this case, I want to make this a trim right, not a trim left. There, that's kind of what I wanted. All right, so we're going to trim right, pick the name, and then we're going to pick a number. So I'm going to trim off five characters off of that. Do another comma here. And we're going to add another field. Now, in this example, we're going to do a trim left. And I'll type in account number there. So you can see as you type, it sort of finds the attributes that meet the criteria here. So there's my account number. And we'll grab 5 characters from that. Okay. So as you type this, it kind of tries to help you out a little bit. Now, we also could have added some more values in here if we wanted to. But for the time being, I'm going to click on this little check mark here. And we're going to save that. All right. I'm going to click Save and Close. So we've set up the logic for our calculated field rather. And now I'm going to add this to my form. So we've added customer number. Now all I need to do is find it and add it to my form. So I'm going to filter this out a little bit. There we are. Put that right underneath the account number. Now I want to update this the customer number rather, so that a person can't just go manually override that. So I'll double click on that to get to my form or my field properties, and I'm going to set that to read only. Now, in a normal environment where I may be putting account numbers in, I don't want everybody just changing my account numbers, because that, of course, is going to change my customer number, which sort of defeats the purpose of some of this. So maybe in this example, we might have integrated with another environment that's populating the account number, but we want to produce a new customer number, so we might normally lock the account number down as well. But we'll keep it like as it is right now, just for our ability to actually see how this would actually work. All right, so I'm going to click Save here, and then we're going to publish our changes. And of course, publishing is going to commit those, and then everybody's going to be able to see those changes we've made. And this will take just a moment. All right, now let's go test this out. All right, so we're back here on our SGS Testing Inc., and I'm going to click F5 to refresh this. There we go. Then we should see our new field here. There it is. There's account number. We have customer number. So what I want to do here is I want to type in an account number. I'm just going to type in a 10-digit number. We'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and save this. All right, it's saving. And now you'll see it grabbed the first, it took off, rather, a certain number of characters off of the account name, and it actually took the left number, or took off a certain number of characters on the left for this. So now we've essentially created a unique customer number. Now, one of the challenges you see here is the fact that we can only do a trim left or trim right, and we can do concatenate. So other sort of string functions you might find in Excel or other kinds of applications or programming languages, we don't have the ability to do those here. So ideally, what I would want to do is, instead of trimming, I'd want to just grab the left or right characters and use those and put them together, and maybe even strip out this comma. Now, unfortunately, like I said, we don't have that ability, but this does illustrate the process to accomplish a concatenation of some kind, and how we equally use the left and right trims and use those together inside of another function.